Anyway, Vance is getting ridiculed in the dude. Yeah, I've seen so many things of Vance, like a lot of like op-eds and a lot of articles saying how much of a drag on the ticket Vance is, of like how like it's not unclear, or excuse me, it's not clear whether Trump is going to dump him or not. Like
Dude,
they're going to drop Vance from the ticket. Yeah.
Can you really? Like, that just seems like...
There's no law against it. There's no rule against it, but
Well,
it would
no,
be
but I'm just saying, like
it would be very bad optics. Like it would, I think it would just
Yeah.
pretty much, that'd be a message that's telegraphing to the American people that like our campaign is floundering. We don't really know what we're doing. We're a bunch of clowns. I don't think they will, but I think like there's like some reports, like unconfirmed reports.
There's one thing that they could do.
Yeah.
Is they could have Vance say, "I'm stepping down. I don't think I'm ready yet. For
I'm not the
such
guy.
A role. I don't think I'm ready for such a role. I've only been in politics for 2 years. Give me
Yeah.
some time to mature and develop. I don't think this is for me right now."
Yeah, because there's just like anytime he opens his mouth, it's just like weird, like shit. He's like
Dude,
he's making a
what
bunch
a
of gaffes.
fucking-
He's just alienating a bunch of people. He's just said so much weird shit about like the cat ladies. How like if you don't have children or families with parents,
Should have more votes.
parents should get more power in their vote. If you have kids, if you don't have kids, you should have less voting power in America because you have like
Oh my
less.
God.
You're less invested in the future of
What a
America.
groiper, bro.
And specifically, he was like talking about biological children. So, like, what about people who have stepchildren? Like, are you alienating anybody that's a step parent? Like, I know that there are some
Yeah,
step parents that
dude,
are better
those
than
Mormons,
biological parents.
The Mormons must have like in crazy
Yeah,
fucking.
they are the voting
power.
bloc, dude. Yeah, these like Mormon caucuses that control like half of the U.S. Congress. Yeah,
Jeremiah walks in, Bob, 1 vote. Jeremiah walks in, 55
votes.
votes. It's like, how the hell did you do that?
Yeah, that
I have
and, like,
15 wives and 75
and 70
children.
kids. And he just keeps saying weird shit. And there's the whole Mountain Dew fiasco I saw of like him like talking
Diet
about
Mountain
the
Dew.
Diet Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Like he's just weird and like uncomfortable to watch. He's a charisma black hole. It's the same problem with all these fucking freaks
Yeah.
and all these weirdos. Is like DeSantis had the same problem. Is anytime he opens his mouth, he's just a charismatic like black hole. Like
I
they have
think DeSantis
zero
would've
riz,
been
zero
better.
charisma.
DeSantis would have been a better pick.
He's
This guy
still
is
a weirdo. Like
he is weird,
yeah.
but he has experience in politics.
Yeah, he's a veteran, experienced politician, sure, but he's like he has no charisma. Like you can win in these local elections and like
But he still
Florida
has more charisma than like fucking Vance.
yeah, I guess more than Vance, sure, but not by much. Like Vance is just such a fucking weirdo, and it's just like he's just
Dude, he started talking about was it fucking couches?
yeah, like fucking like so
Fucking
that this
dolphins?
is like a meme that came out of like supposedly he fucked a couch at some point, and so like there's just so many, and it's like the fact like what the point isn't that he whether or not he did. We're past that. That is no longer relevant.
Oh
the
my
pack
God.
the point is that there is a national conversation. Like there was an AP article that said no, JD Vance didn't have sex with a couch, and it's like this is not like
What have we
this is
gotten
not
to?
fringe like Instagram meme shit on leftist pages. This is like national discourse whether or not the vice presidential nominee for the Republican Party fucked a couch, and that's like the level of discourse in America. And I'm like, this is we're such a fucking
dude.
joke. We're so cooked, dude. It
We're
is
so
just-
gone. When this country's such this
And I'm
country
like,
went down such a bad fucking rabbit
this
hole.
is the shit we're talking about nowadays, and I fucking hate our country so much.
Yeah,
and
man.
I'm just God, and also like there's a more serious
Yeah.
level of advance of like every time he opens his mouth, he just says like weird lies. Like he's and like 20 minutes ago we were bashing on Tim Walz, and it's like fine, but like JD Vance started like lying about and like. I don't really give a shit, but JD Vance is saying that like it's stolen valor because Tim Walz said he was like in combat, and he's never been in combat, and he left his unit before they got deployed to Iraq or whatever. And it's like no, and he left his unit because he didn't want to fight in Iraq, so he abandoned his unit or whatever. And it's like none of this is true. Obviously, Tim Walz was in the National Guard for like 25 years or 24 years or something.
Yeah.
He put in his retirement papers in 2004 or something, like late 2004, and then he got out of the National Guard. He did his time, more than his time. He was in for like a career National Guardsman. He wanted to run for Congress. So he put in his papers, and then he retired, and then he ran for Congress. And then his unit was deployed to Iraq after the fact. And so then it's like, oh, you left your unit before they went to Iraq. Like just when they needed you, you left them. And it's like, he didn't know they were going to Iraq. He fucking put in his papers the year before. They were deployed to Iraq in 2005. He put in his retirement papers in 2004. He didn't know they were going to Iraq. That's just a fake argument that's just like been circulating on like the whatever. Also, you know who also fucking didn't see combat in Iraq that claims they did? JD fucking Vance. He was a Marine in Iraq, but he was in the public relations department. He was a journalist. He never saw combat. And it's like what are you fucking talking about?
Public relations department.
Yeah, he was like a public relations
I
officer.
see shit
Yeah,
so going
not
around that he's a
officer.
Marine or whatever. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
he was in the Marines, but he was in like the public relations
when
like,
dude
department.
was in
yeah.
the fucking office, just
yeah.
like typing.
He was like he was a journalist. Yeah, he was essentially a journalist, like a war correspondent. He was in Iraq, so like I'm not taking that away from him. Like whatever, he was in Iraq, but he never saw combat. He never like I don't know. As far as I know, he didn't fire his weapon. But like you can't then say like that Tim Walz is like some coward for like he was in the military for like literally 6 times the length you were.
But here's the
Yeah, and I don't give a shit. Like don't join the military. It's that's a grift. Like don't. But if you're gonna be claimed to be the military guy, don't, you know what I mean? It's a little hypocritical to say he's not the military guy when you also were like a punk in the military. It's like, what the fuck ever. I don't know. Who cares?
I don't know. To me, it's just like the amount of discourse. I think they're just trying to come up with anything.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they know they're fucked.
Yeah,
they know they're fucked.
The
with
polling
Vance.
now has, I think last I saw there was like Harris up 4 in a couple of polls. I think it's like Vance is legitimately dragging down the ticket, and that was pre the Waltz. And I think Waltz is like, to most Americans, he's just like a normal guy, and that's the new campaign of like the Democrats. Is just the whole weird campaign of they're just calling. Have you seen all the weird stuff? It's like they're just calling Republicans weird, and it's just like they're being weird. It's like they just want to talk about like they want to inspect your kids' genitals, and like all they talk about is kids' genitals.
I think it was
they're
a
just
good
fucking
move.
weird. Yeah, and
it's a good move instead of talking like cliches in politics.
Yeah, they're not like they're just saying they're weird, and then they're just ignoring them. And like
weird.
It's honestly it's working, and it is a pretty like.
Because they're
solid
weird.
marketing strategy because they're fucking weirdos.
They want to inspect your fucking kid's testicles before she or he jumps in a pool, or they jump into a pool.
And if you don't believe us that they're weird, go online and make a left-wing comment in a public space and then read your comments. Or like go to a left-leaning person's, like a public person's, like go to Lady Izdahar and read her comments and like tell me they're not fucking
Go to our
weirdos.
comments.
Go to our
RFK
comments. Go to our RFK video from like a couple weeks ago and look at our comments and tell me they're not just weirdos. And like I don't want to hop on the they're just weird bandwagon because there's a lot more like materialist like conversation around it. It's not just the weird. There's a lot of nuance there that like as a Marxist we can like really drill down on. But yeah, for a surface level like marketing campaign, that's catchy and that's working. And like Vance is a fucking weirdo. Yeah, Trump's a weirdo. And by comparison, Waltz is like a normal guy. And to be fair, Harris is also kind of weird with her weird laugh, and she's also a weirdo. But Waltz,
think you fell from a coconut tree?
Waltz is like not a weirdo. He's a very like marketable, like he's very attractive to the average voter. Like he has a really strong record. He's just been doing his thing. He's like an everyman. He's kind of he really appeals to the working man. And I'm not saying I'm supporting him, but I'm saying like it was a good pick. Optics wise, like he's a good looking. Like when you like put them two next to each other, Vance and Waltz, in like a debate or whatever, Vance is gonna get cooked because like he's a fucking little grubby
if you
weirdo.
put Vance by himself, he's gonna get cooked.
He'll flame, flame out. Yeah, it's just I don't know. Like
you give that man a microphone, you're like, all right, what did he fuck next?
Yeah,
like, what is the next?
By all accounts, like it's just
start
like
talking
Vance
about
is
koalas
really
and
hurting.
chlamydia, like what?
Yeah, it's just what a fucking weirdo. All right, let's move on. We've been doing this 50 minutes, but